Sometimes it's easy to mistake a delay for a denial. When prayers seem unanswered, doors remain closed, and progress appears stagnant, the human heart begins to wonder if God is truly listening. But the truth is, not every delay is a denial. Many times, God is not stopping you, He's setting you up. What looks like a pause is actually divine preparation. God is arranging every piece in the background, aligning timing, people, and circumstances to ensure that when the blessing arrives, it will be undeniable and unstoppable. You must understand that God's timing is not just good, it's perfect. He doesn't just want to bless you, He wants to bless you in such a way that it's complete, mature, and overflowing, and that kind of blessing takes time to build. Think of it like a seed. When planted, nothing seems to happen at first. The soil looks the same, the ground appears undisturbed, but underground the seed is germinating, roots are forming, structure is being built. The process is invisible, but it's essential. If someone judged the seed based on what they saw above the soil too early, they would assume it was dead. But in reality, the seed is simply in a divine delay. And when the time is right, growth will break through the surface. That's how God works in our lives. Just because you can't see the movement doesn't mean there isn't momentum. Heaven is working while you're waiting. Often the delay is about protection. God sees what you can't. He knows the traps ahead, the timing of others, and the readiness of your heart. Sometimes you're not being denied the blessing. You're being shielded from something that could corrupt it. An early blessing can be dangerous. If it's too soon, it could damage your character, inflate your pride, or create dependence on the gift rather than the giver. God's delays are full of mercy. He would rather have you wait in frustration than walk into something unprepared. He loves you too much to give you something you're not ready to handle. The enemy will use delays to try to discourage and distract you. He'll whisper lies like God forgot you, or you're too late, or you missed your season. But those are just tactics to break your faith. If the enemy can't stop the blessing, he'll try to make you give up before it arrives. But those who endure, those who keep believing through the silence, those who keep walking when it feels slow, those are the ones who will see God's hand move mightily. Faith isn't just believing when things are going well. True faith is trusting God's plan when there's no evidence in your favor. When you understand that delays are part of God's design, you begin to see the beauty in waiting. You stop comparing your timeline to others. You stop complaining about what hasn't happened. Instead, you start praising God for what He's protecting you from. You start preparing for what's coming even when you don't see it. That's the posture of someone who knows they're in divine alignment. And when the setup is complete and God says it's time, nothing can block your blessing. What seemed delayed will arrive in a way that makes you realize it was right on time all along. You'll look back and thank God for the moments you didn't understand, because now you see how it all fits together. So don't despise the delay. It's not a denial, it's a divine setup. God is preparing something big, and when it comes, it will be worth every second you waited. Pain is something everyone experiences, but not everyone understands its purpose. When you're walking with God, pain is never wasted. It's not random, it's not accidental, and it's certainly not meaningless. Painful seasons are often the very places where God is preparing you for powerful breakthroughs. The discomfort you feel, the pressure you face, and the tears you cry are all being used by God to shape you, strengthen you, and ready you for what He's about to release in your life. God doesn't allow pain without purpose. Every trial you go through is part of a divine classroom where your character is refined, your faith is tested, and your dependence on Him is deepened. Think about Joseph. He had a dream from God that he would be lifted up and honored. But what followed that dream was betrayal by his own brothers, slavery in a foreign land, and years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. From the outside, it looked like his life was moving further and further away from the promise. But in reality, every painful step was pushing him closer to his destiny. The betrayal taught him forgiveness. The prison taught him patience. The silence taught him to rely on God's voice. And when the time was right, he was promoted to a position of power that not only changed his life, but saved an entire nation. That blessing didn't come in spite of the pain, it came through it. We often pray for elevation, but we don't realize that preparation comes first. You cannot walk in great blessing without first going through great shaping. God allows the crushing so He can bring the oil. He permits the pressure so He can release power. Pain breaks things off of you that comfort never could. It strips away pride, fear, doubt, and anything that might sabotage the blessing once it comes. It purifies your motives and matures your mindset. Pain has a way of reminding you that you don't control the outcome. God does. And when you reach the place He's leading you to, you'll look back and realize that every painful step had a purpose. Breakthrough is not just about what you receive, it's about who you become in the process. Sometimes God holds back the blessing until you're strong enough to carry it. He's not just preparing the blessing for you, He's preparing you for the blessing. It takes strength to manage favor, it takes wisdom to handle influence, and it takes maturity to stay grounded when God lifts you up. That's why the pain is part of the process. It's the training ground where spiritual muscles are built, faith is stretched, and your spirit is refined. The devil wants you to believe that pain is proof that God has abandoned you, but in truth, pain is often a sign that God is very close. It means you are on the verge of something big. Hell does not fight what doesn't threaten it. The intensity of your warfare is often the clearest indication that breakthrough is around the corner. That means the tears you're crying today are watering the ground for tomorrow's harvest. The pain you're enduring is proof that something is being birthed. Don't give up in the middle of the process. Don't walk away when it gets uncomfortable. The very place that feels like the end may actually be the birthing place of your new beginning. So instead of cursing the pain, start asking God what He's developing in you through it. Shift your perspective from why me to what are you doing in me. The fire you're walking through is refining you. The trial you're facing is qualifying you. And the pain you're feeling is pushing you into purpose. When the breakthrough finally arrives, and you'll carry a testimony that speaks louder than any sermon. You'll have a depth, a strength, and a fire that could only come from walking through the valley with God. That's why you can trust Him even in your pain, because your painful season is not your punishment. It's your preparation. The blessing on the other side will make it all worth it. There are times when it feels like no one sees you. Your prayers are quiet, your efforts are hidden, your sacrifices go unnoticed. It feels like everyone else is being elevated, recognized, and celebrated while you remain in the shadows. But what you need to understand is that being hidden is not the same as being forgotten. In fact, there are seasons in your walk with God when He deliberately hides you, not to hurt you, but to protect you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. You are not being ignored, you are being reserved. God is not overlooking you. He is preserving you for the right time, the right platform, and the right assignment. He knows that premature exposure can ruin a destiny. So He keeps you hidden until your character is ready, your heart is steady, and your foundation is strong enough to carry what He is about to release in your life. When God hides you, it's not a sign of rejection. It's a mark of value. Just like fine treasures are kept in secret places, God hides His greatest vessels until they are fully refined. Diamonds are formed in darkness, oil comes through crushing, gold is purified through fire. In the same way, God takes His time with you because He's not building something ordinary. He's creating something extraordinary. He's not interested in quick fame or shallow success. He's interested in lasting fruit, deep roots, and eternal impact. That's why the hidden seasons are so important. That's where identity is formed, intimacy with God is deepened, and obedience is tested. When no one's watching, God watches the most. Look at David. Before he ever stood before Goliath or sat on the throne, he was a shepherd boy in the field. Forgotten by men but handpicked by God. While his brothers were parading in front of Samuel, hoping to be chosen, David was alone, tending sheep, worshipping in the wilderness, and developing the heart of a king. God saw him, God anointed him, and God elevated him at the appointed time. His hiding season was not a waste. It was preparation for leadership. If David had skipped the field, he wouldn't have had the courage to face giants. If he had bypassed the loneliness, he wouldn't have written psalms that still touch hearts today. The hidden place made him who he was. The same is true for you. You may be in a season where it feels like your gifts aren't being used, your voice isn't being heard, and your potential isn't being noticed. But God sees you. He is developing your inner life, building your spiritual muscles, and preparing your heart to carry the weight of what's coming. He's teaching you to serve in silence so you can lead with humility. He's anchoring your identity in Him so you're not swayed by applause or approval. He's training your ears to hear His voice above all others. These are the lessons learned in the hidden place, and when the time is right, He will reveal you. When God reveals what He's been hiding, it happens suddenly and powerfully. Just like a caterpillar hidden in a cocoon, the transformation happens in silence. But when it's time, the beauty cannot be contained. Your season of unveiling is coming. The day will come when people ask, where did they come from? And the answer will be clear: they were hidden in God. That's why you must not despise the season of obscurity. It's not a setback, it's a setup. God is hiding you to heal you. He's hiding you to sharpen you. He's hiding you to launch you. When it's your time, no man can stop it, no door can block it, and no enemy can delay it. Until then, stay faithful in the secret place, because the God who sees in secret will reward you openly. And when he reveals you, it will be worth every moment you spent in the dark. One of the most powerful truths you can hold onto is this: what God has for you cannot be taken. It doesn't matter who tries to block it, delay it, or speak against it. When God has ordained something for your life, it will come to pass. His plans for you are not subject to human approval or circumstances. His promises are sealed in heaven, and no person, no devil, no opposition can cancel what he has declared over you. This truth should bring peace to your heart and strength to your spirit. You don't have to strive, compete, or manipulate. You don't have to live in fear that someone else will take your place. What belongs to you is protected by God himself. God's blessings are not like man's gifts. They are not fragile, temporary, or insecure. They are rooted in his divine will, and when the time is right, they will manifest in your life without fail. That opportunity you've been praying for, if it's God's will, it's yours. That door you're waiting to open. If it has your name on it, no one else can walk through it. That dream you're carrying, if God put it there, he will bring it to life. You don't have to chase what God has promised. You just have to stay in alignment, walk in obedience, and trust his timing. The blessing will find you. It's easy to get discouraged when you see others advancing ahead of you. You might wonder why they're getting what you've been praying for. But comparison is a trap that leads to insecurity and distraction. Just because someone else is being blessed doesn't mean your turn isn't coming. God is not limited. He's not running out of favor or miracles. His blessings are custom-made for each of his children. What's for you won't fit anyone else, and what fits someone else would never fulfill you. That's why it's important to stay focused on your own journey and trust that God knows exactly how and when to bring your blessing into your life. The enemy's goal is to make you doubt what God has spoken. He wants you to think it's too late, that you missed your chance, or that someone else took what was yours. But those are lies designed to weaken your faith. God is not confused, he is not delayed, and he is not unfair. If he said it, he meant it, and if he meant it, he will perform it. Your job is not to figure out how or when. It's to keep believing even when nothing seems to be happening. Faith is the bridge between the promise and the manifestation. Don't let fear break that bridge. There are times when it may seem like you lost something, an opportunity, a relationship, a dream, but in God's kingdom, nothing truly yours can ever be lost. If it didn't stay, it wasn't part of his plan. If it was removed, it was a divine redirection, and if it looks like it's been delayed, it's only being developed. God's promises don't expire. They don't diminish with time. In fact, the longer you wait, the bigger the blessing tends to be. God knows how to compensate for every tear, every disappointment, and every setback. What's coming will not only match what you hoped for, it will exceed it, so rest in the assurance that God is faithful. He hasn't forgotten what he told you. He hasn't changed his mind. He hasn't overlooked your sacrifice or your prayers. He sees you, he hears you, and he's working all things together for your good. When the appointed time comes, the doors will open, the favor will flow, and the promise will be fulfilled, and you'll know beyond a doubt that it was God all along. What he has for you is safe, it's secure. And it's still coming. Trust him, because your name is still on it. When you're facing intense spiritual warfare, resistance, or unusual opposition, it's often not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a clear sign that you're doing something right. The closer you get to the breakthrough God has prepared for you, the more the enemy will try to attack, distract, and discourage you. The storm is not proof that God has abandoned you. It's proof that you are carrying something valuable, something powerful, something dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. The enemy doesn't fight what doesn't threaten him. So if your life seems under pressure, if your progress feels blocked, if your mind is being flooded with doubt and fear, take heart, because the warfare is often the strongest when the blessing is the closest. Satan doesn't waste his resources on people who aren't moving forward. He focuses his attacks on those who are about to step into something significant. That's why right before promotion, many people experience chaos. Right before healing, many face discouragement. Right before breakthrough, they face silence, loss, or spiritual heaviness. The enemy wants to get you to quit just before the blessing arrives. If he can't take what God has for you, he'll try to make you walk away from it out of exhaustion, fear, or discouragement. But this is where spiritual maturity matters. You must learn to discern the difference between a breakdown and a breakthrough. What feels like the end may actually be the beginning of something greater than you imagined. The storm that surrounds you is not random, it's strategic. But here's the good news, you're not in it alone. God is with you in the fire. He's in the battle with you. He's not watching from a distance. He's walking with you through every step of the struggle, and not only that, he's using the storm to strengthen you. Every hit you take, every trial you face, every delay you endure, it's all making you stronger. You're gaining spiritual authority, deeper faith, and greater endurance. You're learning to trust God beyond what you see and feel. And that kind of trust cannot be shaken by circumstances. The storm also reveals what's real. It exposes what's weak, what's temporary, and what needs to go. God allows the shaking not to destroy you, but to purify you. So when the blessing comes, you're ready to steward it with maturity, integrity, and wisdom. Sometimes God has to let the winds blow to clear the path. He allows pressure to produce power. That's why you should never give up in the middle of a storm. It's not the end, it's the evidence that something greater is on the way. God is not surprised by the warfare you're facing. In fact, he factored it into your journey. He knew every attack that would come against you and already designed a way for you to overcome it. He's already made a way of escape, already assigned angels to cover you, already equipped you with everything you need to endure. The same God who allowed the storm will also speak peace, be still, at the perfect moment. And when he does, you'll come out stronger, wiser, and more anointed than ever before. So hold your ground, stay rooted in the word, keep worshiping even when it hurts, keep praying even when it's quiet. Keep declaring God's promises even when the facts don't line up, because breakthrough is near. The intensity of the battle is not a sign to quit. It's a sign to press in harder. The storm didn't come to stop you. It came to reveal what's in you, and what's in you is greater than what's against you. You're closer than you think. Don't back down now. The blessing is just on the other side. There is something powerful about staying obedient and faithful even when you can't see the results. In the natural, we are conditioned to want quick rewards. We want to see instant progress, immediate blessings, and quick breakthroughs. But in the spiritual realm, God often works in a way that builds us in the dark before revealing us in the light. What you do when no one is watching matters. What you sow in quietness, God will reward openly. Your obedience in the unseen places, those hidden acts of faith, the silent prayers, the unnoticed sacrifices, those are the very seeds that release heaven's overflow in your life. Sometimes it feels like you're doing everything right and still seeing no fruit. You're praying, fasting, giving, serving, staying away from sin and walking in obedience, yet nothing seems to shift. That's when the enemy whispers, it's not working, you're wasting your time, give up. But that's the moment you must hold on the tightest, because spiritual seeds don't grow on your timeline, they grow on God's. Just like a farmer doesn't dig up his seeds the day after planting, you must not dig up your faith with doubt. God is not unjust to forget your labor of love. He sees it, he values it, and in due time you will reap if you faint not. Think of Noah. For years he built an ark on dry land when there wasn't a cloud in the sky. People mocked him. It didn't make sense, but he obeyed anyway, and when the rain finally came, his obedience became his deliverance. Or consider Daniel, who prayed faithfully in private, even when it put his life at risk. His obedience in the dark opened the door for God's miracle in the lion's den. In every season of spiritual history, God has used private obedience to release public reward. He honors what's done in the secret place. He blesses the hearts that stay faithful when there's no applause and no affirmation. Sometimes you won't feel like praying, but you do it anyway. Sometimes you won't feel like worshiping, but you lift your hands anyway. Sometimes your heart is heavy, but you keep showing up. That is spiritual maturity. That is how heaven recognizes faith. God is not moved by emotional highs. He is moved by consistent, obedient hearts. He watches how you act when it's not convenient. He sees how you treat others when no one is clapping, and he notices when you trust him even when you don't understand. The overflow God is preparing for you is not cheap. It's not random, it's tailored to your faithfulness. Every season of obedience has a harvest attached to it. Every time you denied your flesh, chose humility over pride, and walked in truth even when lies were easier, that all adds up in the spirit. The reward may not come when you expect it, but it will always come when you need it, and when it does, it will be more than enough. God is a God of abundance. He doesn't just give you enough to get by. He gives you overflow, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So don't grow weary. Your faithfulness is working. Your consistency is building momentum. Your obedience is attracting favor. Keep walking in the Word. Keep honoring God with your choices. Keep serving with a pure heart. Heaven is watching, and when the moment is right, God will showcase you, not for your glory, but for His. People will wonder how it all happened, and you'll be able to say it was God. The light you're about to step into is the result of the faith you held in the dark. Keep going. Your overflow is closer than you think.